Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown. Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark.
Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poisons, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome to episode 124 of Two Fat Guys Pull List. And you're probably wondering, where is Nate? Nate is on his way. He is, he's dealing with something right now, but he will be here tonight, I promise. But we're kicking off the show with just Jim. But don't fret. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to be great. It's going to be a good time. And Nate will be here. He's just dealing with something. He'll be here soon. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Obviously, I set up a poll. I'm just kind of curious to see who is excited or not excited about the dawn of DC. That's about, that is currently upon us, really, I guess, with Superman kicking it off. But I'm just curious to see what people have to say. So we'll have to see about that. Yeah, I'm interested. Anyway, let's talk about let's get some business out of the way, and then we'll talk to chat. Kind of buff a little bit while we wait for Nate to get on, and we might talk about a couple books before Nate gets on, some that maybe he didn't read that I can kind of go through while we wait for him to get here. As always, we need to talk about our show's sponsor, which is Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. That is the LCS that me and Nate both are. That's our home base. That's where we get our comics. And it's a freaking awesome place. If you're ever in the DFW area, definitely go check out Collected Comics and Games. They have 2 locations. One in Fort Worth and then one in Keller. So if you're ever in the area, go check it out. There's a bunch of different comic shops here in the DFW area that are great. But we really love Collected. But what we'd love for you to do, let me get it on here really quick. What we'd love for you to do is go over to their website, brainycomics.com. BrainyComics.com is a great website where you can go ahead and go over there and you can get exclusive and variant covers, bundles, bad idea books, new comics, mystery bags, back issues, graphic novels, games, toys and collectibles, and even trading cards. It's a really cool site, and as you can see, there's some really cool variant covers here on the front. Actually, I've seen the Psylocke Judgment Day Omega #1, the Nakamura trade dress at the shop. I've almost picked it up. I almost picked it up last week, but there's a way that you can actually win that cover, or not win, but you have a chance at getting it without necessarily buying it for the full 15. You're probably asking, well, what is that? Well, you head over here, put in the search, you type into the search bar, Two Fat Guys Pull List, and these 2 upgrades pop up in the search. One is a regular upgrade for $8, which gets you 1 mystery exclusive comic cover, so you could get that Psylocke, or you can do the premium for $15 and get 2. Now, if you noticed, the premium or that Psylocke cover base with the trade dress is $15. So getting it at $8 would be awesome, but you could also potentially get it if you do the premium, and you might get a different one as well for $15. So head on over to brainycomics.com, do a little bit of shopping, and then before you leave, type in Two Fat Guys Pull List in the search bar. Put this upgrade in your cart and see what you get. We would love to, if you end up doing it, make sure to tag us when your package arrives in the mail, and let us know what you got. If you did sign up for the, I can't talk tonight. That's kind of a bad thing. If you did sign up for the upgrade. So yeah, that's going to do it for that part of the business. Also, we're going to talk about our sub giveaway. Currently, now again, this number fluctuates. We were at like $7.99 the other night, and now we're at $8.03. Now again, it could go up or down as it goes, but it's very encouraging. We're close to 850 subscribers. When we hit 850 subscribers, we are going to give away this 9.8 CBCS graded Green Lantern #1 with John Stewart on the cover. This is a retail incentive. It's a really kick-ass book, great looking cover. Yeah, I really want to give this away. So let's go ahead and hit 850 subscribers. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and if you're watching this live, give us a like. Let's get those likes up. You know what to do. And then, as always, since we've started this journey, me and Nate, we are getting ready to give away a really big prize when we hit 1,000 subscribers, and we're getting there, man. We're getting close. We're already at 803 people. We're getting close. But when we hit 1,000, if you've been here for a while, you know what we're giving away: a 9.8 CBCS graded Original Sin tie-in Amazing Spider-Man #4, the first appearance of Silk. She is getting her own show on Amazon. This book is only going up in value. We will be giving this away when we hit 1,000 subscribers. So make sure I can't emphasize it enough. Make sure you are subscribed so that you can be entered to win that big O slab. It's going to be great. All right, let's get back to chat here really quick. And what I hate about this is so on Streamlabs, I'm looking at it now over here, and my poll is in front of everybody's chat. So I can only see the first 4, and then anybody that's chat something new, I can't see it. So I got to look over here. So it's going to look weird that I'm looking over here. Or I could just end the poll, right? But I feel like, I want to leave it up for a little bit. We'll see. Anyway, Patty, hope everyone is doing good. I'm only pumped for Doom Patrol. Otherwise, I'm not so sure. I am very pumped for Doom Patrol. I cannot wait for that book. I think it comes out. I want to say it comes out next week. I think, if not the week after, but it's coming. Joe, of course, I'm excited to read new comic creative ideas for sure. I'm giving most of the new 50 or not new 52, the Dawn of DC books a shot. I've already ordered Cyborg, and I don't remember the other ones, but I've ordered ones that have already been on FOC. So I'm giving everyone a shot. We'll see if it makes it through, but I'm definitely going to give it a shot. Patty, I enjoy the new and creative ideas, but they shoot into a reboot again. I don't know. Yeah, well, we're kind of we're in this weird phase of semi reboots. I don't know. Hold on, guys. Son doesn't want to go to bed. Anyway, yeah, back to it. I went to a fan expo this Saturday, met some artists and writers, got a new horror book to read by Howard Wong, and I got volume 3 of Silver Coin, signed last copy by Michael Walsh, had at the booth, even got the coin. Damn, that's awesome, Patty. That's sick. Joe, I like this approach better than the Rebirth approach. Rebirth dropped about 50 new #1s and felt behind before it got started. But this time they're slowly dropping ones. So far I'm hanging. I dig that. No, I agree with you. I didn't experience the new 52 drop, but I do like that idea for sure. Awesome how creative some of these dudes are. Howard Wong's book Damned Cursed Children caught my eye. EC horror inspired covers. Nice. Help me understand the map that DC released of all these titles. The flow through this year. Are they the books that will be connected to the overall event, or are these just random titles? I think it's the way they're releasing them and how. I think it's how they're releasing them and how. I don't think they're just random. I think it's just things will be inspired as they release. That's my thought. But then again, I think that's giving DC too much credit because they are all over the place lately. So I could be right, but I could be wrong too. Patty, the new 52 was messy for sure. A mess for sure. This is a better approach by the sound of it. The map looks like an event leading to Brainiac. Yeah. Brainiac, I would agree with that too. I think Brainiac is probably on the way. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll because it looks like, not a lot of people are here watching anyway, but we'll check it out. So let's see. 66 say no, 33% say yes with 3 votes. I feel like that's not a lot, but I kind of see it. Patty, worth the drive to Toronto and the city of the con. I think against in August will be a bigger and definitely warmer. I want to go to a con bad. I was telling my wife that the other day, damn, I lost. It's all right, Joe. I was telling my wife I really want to go. I want to go to one out of the state of Texas. If I had my choice, I really either want to go to the Emerald City Con in Seattle What's my vote? I'm kind of undecided. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm in the gray area. I guess yes, but very timid, like very like hesitantly. Because I just don't want, when we jumped onto DC a couple years back, I was really excited. I was picking up Batman with Tinian. I was reading Tamaki's Detective Comics. I was reading Philip Kennedy Johnson's Action Comics and Superman. No, I wasn't reading. There wasn't a Superman book at the time, was there? I don't think there was. I think it was like in a transition. I think John was about to get it. But it was just an exciting time, reading Nightwing. It was really good. And oh yeah, like Justice League seemed to be picking up, like kicking off really well, but then it just, damn Jim W. Switzerland. I'm sorry. Like I guess I'm looking forward to it, but like very hesitantly, I just don't, I've lost a lot of trust in DC. It just seems like they can't seem to pick a direction. And when they do, and they start setting continuity, they shuffle it up again. They move everything around again. So it's hard. It's hard for me to be like, okay, this feels good. This feels consistent. This feels right. And then it just falls through. So I'm very hesitant to say yes or no. I want to say yes. I want to say yes to Dawn of the DC because, yeah, I like reading comics. Like that's the whole point of the show. That's my hobby. I want to be excited about it. I hate bitching about comics. I hate bitching about the lack of consistency and the lack of just fluidity, if that makes any sense. It just feels very choppy, and it almost the way DC currently is writing their comics feels very much like what the DCEU feels like, where it's just chopped up and inconsistent, and they try to tether things along, and it's quite obvious that they're not doing it in tandem with one another. They're just kind of throwing it together. That's what it feels like right now. I know that DC Comics as a whole is not like that. I mean, they're ridiculously old, so obviously they've had continuity and have felt cohesive for a while, but right now they don't, in my opinion. John, the new Superman solo book was surprisingly good, but reading DC usually feels like a chore. I'm right there with you. I didn't read. No, are you talking about the Superman Lost? Is that the one that you're talking about? Because I've heard really good things about that. Joe, both Taylor's Titans and McKay's Avengers are starting new number ones. Which one are you more excited? I have to pick one, right? Like gun to my head. If I had to pick one, Avengers. And that's not saying I'm not trying to poo-poo on Taylor's Titans, because I'm actually really excited for Titans. I'm in our new comic book day video, which is going to drop this Tuesday, I even talk about it. Like I am, Tom Taylor is obviously the golden child right now over at DC with his exclusive deal, and he's running the ship, man. And it seems kind of like Williamson was on it for a bit. He wrote the big event. Yes, James Gunn to your head. James. Yeah. He wrote the big event, the big Dark Crisis event, and now he's just got Superman. And I feel like DC is ramping up Tom Taylor even more now, to the point where we're gonna see potentially a Tom Taylor, another Tom Taylor DC event. I know he did Deceased, so obviously he's got the chops, right? But with him writing his little one-off with John going into Injustice, it feels like we're setting up for some kind of big event that Tom Taylor is going to write. And I'm here for that. I'm totally here for that. So, yeah, I'd pick Avengers now, because what's going on with Scarlet Witch right now, what's going on with the rest of the team, and how it's ending over with Jason Aaron, I'm excited. Mickey's Avengers, his writing on Black Cat has been fantastic. Yeah, McKay. I'm sorry, McKay's. I can't read. No, McKay is killing it, man. He's been having a silly goose time, and I think it's gonna be a fun ride with the Avengers. And I'm not saying that Tom Taylor's Titans book is not gonna be good. I think it's gonna be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. But I'm looking forward to Avengers more. But it's clear, it's very evident. Look at my wall. I'm much more a heavier. I just connect more with Marvel than I do with DC. But that's not to say DC doesn't have any good stories or good characters. I think they've got fantastic stories and great characters. There's some that I really like. But with the lack of direction or false feeling of a direction, DC just I can't put too many eggs in that basket. It's just hard. So that's kind of where I'm at with that right now. I really want to wait for Nate to get on before we start the show. So do you guys have any other questions or stuff you guys want to talk about before Nate gets on? I'd love to kind of just push that back because I know he's got some really good commentary on some of these. Oh, here we go. Here comes Joe. I can't wait for Philip Kennedy Johnson and Nick Klein on my favorite character, Hulk, as Hulk fans need something to be excited for because between this last run on Hulk and what the MCU is doing, we'll finish that. I'm right there with you, Joe. It's going to be hard. What up, Calvin? It's really going to be hard for Marvel to... how do I say this? After Al Ewing's run, which I thought was 100% amazing outside of the ending felt kind of weird and kind of lazy. Keep forgetting it's Sunday. It's all good, Calvin. I'm just glad you're here, and that's what counts. After Al Ewing's run, I think it was just really hard to top. He did some really cool things. He did some really groundbreaking things. And so when Donnie took over, now granted, we have the Hulk book. I don't know, Joe, if you read Hulk this week or not. But I, spoilers, I was a little impressed, but we'll get there. What I find interesting is, Hulk, it's just going to be hard. It's going to be hard for anybody writing a Hulk book right now with Ewing's run being so epic and so recent. It's just hard. I think it's going to be hard to top that. And I'm not saying Philip Kennedy Johnson and Nick Klein can't do it. I think that is an A-list creative team right there on a Hulk book. And I'm looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong. I am looking forward to it. I know Nate's kind of like, but even though it's his favorite writer and favorite artist, one of his favorite artists, I still don't think he's considering picking it up because it's the Hulk and he's so disinterested. That being said, with what Donnie was trying to achieve, and clearly things got in the way. Life got in the way. I think there was some bones there for some actual something there. I think there was something there, and I was impressed with this week's issue, and we'll get into it more once we get to that part of the show. But there was clearly something going on there, and it's unfortunate that it's not going to get as fleshed out as I want it to. But I think Nick Klein and Philip Kennedy Johnson have a steep hill to climb, and it's obviously not because of Donny Cates' run. I think it's because of Al Ewing's run, and it feels like Hulk is just kind of burnt out right now. It's clear that we're going to be doing some kind of horror-esque thing with Hulk, with Philip Kennedy Johnson, and I just don't know. I mean, it's clear that that's the direction we have to go in with where Cates took him, and it was kind of more cosmic and magical and psychedelic, whereas Ewing's run was much more, it was psychological but horror-esque, and it looks like Philip Kennedy Johnson's going in that same road. And so it's just kind of and I'm not asking for Hulk to be back in the day Hulk, original OG Hulk style storytelling. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just making the observation that I think Philip Kennedy Johnson, just like Donnie, has a hill to climb because of how great Al Ewing's run was with Immortal Hulk. So we'll see. John, Children of the Black Sun Ablaze is good. which cover of Hulk did you grab? I grabbed cover A. I didn't grab any of the other covers. Joe, I'm ready for the Hulk to be connected to the overall Marvel universe again. I agree. This has been his own. He's been on his own for so long. If you're not reading Hulk, then you wouldn't know where he is. Right, I agreed. Sebastian, I can't wait for the new Doctor Strange. I can't either. That being said, and we talk about, I don't want to give away too much, but we do talk about it obviously in our new comic book video that's coming out this Tuesday. My only worry is that I didn't read Strange. I read like the first 2 issues of Strange. So I'm going in with it with an open eye, but I also have an expectation that I'm not going to know what the hell's going on because I didn't read McKay's other. Is it McKay? Who is it? Who's writing it? I'm embarrassed. Is it McKay? Yeah, McKay. I'm just worried that because I didn't read the rest of his other run dealing with Strange, that I'm going to feel a little lost. That being said, I'm still going to give it 100%. He comes back. He's coming back, Calvin. He did die, but from my understanding, and again, I haven't read it. I've only read the first 2 issues. His wife was like in Strange was trying to figure out a way to bring him back. So he was always coming back. So there's that. But yeah, I am looking forward to it. I'm just worried that I might need to, not worried. I just got to put in some work if I want to really understand his run, because I do want to pick it up. I love McKay's writing. And who's the art on that? Pascal Ferry. All right, cool. Joe, I haven't read this issue on Hulk. I've been reading The Last Ronin and did a reread on Black Panther. Also read Wolverine. Beast War is going down over there. Yeah, that's what I was, the covers have got me intrigued on that. I'm probably going to have to pick that up. Joe, with PKJ writing Hulk makes me think Hulk will stay in space and do more space stories. I would be down with that for sure. Strange with Sia is so freaking good. I'm sure. Yeah, I just need to go back and read it. That didn't last long. No. We'll see. We'll see how it gets handled. Strange is in. Oddly enough, Strange is in the most recent Hulk issue. He was in the previous issue, but we get more of an explanation of how. We'll get there. I'm giving away too much because we're gonna talk about it when we get to that point in the show. I'm just waiting for Nate to get on. But I'm really digging this discussion. I kind of like this idea of like starting the show a little slower before we get into our polls, because I'm digging this. Like, I like talking to y'all. I like the back and forth with chat. It's really fun. I could get used to that. Maybe we start like 15-20 minutes early, and we start like a little like just back and forth with chat before we start. I don't know. That's an idea. We'll think about it. But yeah, I am looking forward to Doctor Strange. There's a sick Alex Ross cover. There's a couple good covers on Doctor Strange this week. So like there's cover A, obviously, which looks fantastic. It's Alex Ross. Really digging the Kukulo variant here, the Stormbreaker. That's sick. Love it. And then obviously the Ross Timeless. I'm not collecting these, but that is fantastic. I think it's either Avengers. No, the Avengers Omega. Oh shit, Nick called. Let's pick it up. Let's call him back. I didn't hear it. Why didn't I hear it? Anyway, I think it's the Avengers. Omega has a hair. The Avengers Omega has a Galactus Ross cover, and it looks so cool. So I might actually have to pick that up. Yeah, I'm just talking, but people can hear you now.
Yes.
So I'm just getting you in. I'm bringing him in. I'm bringing in the legend. Let's see here, John. I think you'll be fine. Strange ended well. It sets it up for a fresh start. Okay, cool. So I'm assuming he comes back to life in Strange. Joe, Doctor Strange is on a larger team that is about to go after Punisher. I think the team is Captain America, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, Wolverine, Black Widow, and Daredevil. That sounds kind of cool.
Oh shit.
What is that in? Is that in Strange, or is that in his this book that's coming up? I got all the Alex Ross covers in hold for me. Nice, Joe. All right, let's go. Let's bring him in. The one and only. Which button is it? There he is. There he is. Let me just move you around here really quick.
3-year-olds are great.
Yeah, 3-year-olds are great.
When they scream and yell and kick you and throw your sunglasses.
2-year-olds are also great when you're potty training them.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what? We got through it though. 3 days. Liam is now peeing and pooping in the potty.
Dang.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's the second, right? So he's seeing Dan do it. But I mean, today we were having lunch and like he was just sitting at the table and he was like, I was like, you gotta go poop, and he's like, yeah. I was like, okay. Yeah. And so he went over there and he had tried like, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little into my personal here, but he had tried all day yesterday and a little bit this morning, and he was just pissed that he couldn't do it. And they went over there, and I was like, all right, this is gonna be another one of these false alarms. He's not gonna poop. And then like I look around the corner and he's like purple.
Oh God!
Like he's just pushing, man. And then boom, it hit. Dude pooped in the potty. It was like, hell yeah. So we have a
hell yeah, brother.
2-year-old that is fully potty trained. It is amazing. So
Nice.
he will no longer be wearing diapers. He is wearing Cars underwear.
There you go.
So anyway, let's see. That's in the Punisher book. Oh shit.
Oh, okay.
Well, damn, man. I ordered the Stormbreaker cover. Wicked cool. It is really good. There's some good covers. All right. Well, since you're here, we can go ahead and get into the show. Let's get into the pool. Let's just get right to it. And guys, keep on bringing the questions. I love it. Let's get Nate involved as you continue to speak in the chat. All right, let's kick off the show with Avengers Forever, the last issue in Avengers Forever, issue 15, and it's the penultimate issue in the Avengers Assemble Part 9.
His favorite word.
God damn it. Yeah, it is. I mean, that's just what it is. No, my favorite word is a word that doesn't mean what it means. We'll get to that later.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, let's get to this here. Calvin says, happy belated birthday to Nate.
Oh, thank you, Calvin. Appreciate that. It was quite nice.
I told you once I read this that it's clear that it seems like Aaron is going to stick the landing fairly well, very confidently. And some major shit's going down in the book. Apparently it's always been about the God Quarry. There's some kind of ancient power below it. I mean, there would be. I mean, it's a graveyard for dead gods. And so Mephisto wants to break that open, wants to crack that open, and he ends up doing it in this issue. And we get a lot of rallying in this book. Thor's, Captain America's, and Marvel's, and Iron Man's, and just the whole fucking thing. And it feels epic, and it also feels. It doesn't feel overdone. Does that make sense? Like.
Yeah.
With his previous issues building up to it, it felt kind of cheesy and corny, but this felt right. This felt like the Avengers. So I was super stoked for it. And seeing what happens, Mephisto ends up breaking through. He's able to crack the God Quarry. Some other crazy shit happens in the book, and I'll leave that for people to read. But he cracks it, and this primordial goo shoots out, and Phoenix Wolverine is like, don't touch it, it'll kill you. And when that happens, all these other Avengers are like, all right, we gotta rally, we gotta win, we can do this. And Loki, the prime Avenger, is kind of like, nah bitches, we lost, like we've already lost. So Aaron has set up what I'm sure there will be a resolution at the end of at Avengers Assemble Omega, but as of right now, it seems pretty dire. It seems like we're, between a rock and a hard place, and I don't know if we're going to get out. Now, I'm sure we will, But my theory, and I think I told you this earlier on in the week, is that Jason Aaron might actually be setting up a stepping stone or a block for Hickman to step on for the reintroduction of the Ultimate Universe. I don't know. We'll see. That
would be really cool. I think that I love it when some of these bigger crossovers like that, or some of these universe expanding ideas, are actually expanded throughout the creators and not just one singular person doing all of it.
Right. Sorry, I got a tickle, dude.
Uh-oh.
I know, man. It comes at the
His
most.
pickle got tickled, y'all. His throat
No, it
pickle,
didn't.
not his pickle.
Shut
pickle.
up. Anyway, ever since I got COVID, I get these like little fits.
Mhm.
Where am I?
COVID's no joke. You and I both like got it really late, and then
Right.
it's still, we had some yucky after effects. I just got mine in Christmas of this.
Yeah, I got mine. I got mine in
2022.
August. You know, I dodged the damn thing for 2.5 years.
Uh-huh.
Then you send your kids to school and like, boom, COVID.
I'm not there yet, but almost.
Yeah, well, I get this little tickle in my throat, and it. You drink water and whatever, it still doesn't like. I don't know, man. I might have to go see a doctor about it. I don't know if they can do anything, but anyway, Avengers Forever. I think I'm gonna do an overall, like when Omega comes out, I'll do an overall, just kind of review of the entire run. But it's making me feel good, you know. It's making me feel glad that I stuck with it, but I still have buyer's remorse and still have, you know, those in between issues. God, it was a fucking beating. So,
Yeah,
all
I'm
right,
gonna have to pick up the whole thing probably in trade.
right. All right, Captain Marvel, issue number 47 from Thompson. We are still dealing with the Brood, part 6, the Revenge of the Brood, but we're getting more explanation to what's going on. And I'm not, me personally, I don't know about you, I am not disappointed. I'm having a really good time with it. And I don't know, man. Like, you know, I know I am not versed in it very well, but I know Captain Marvel has a deep history with the Brood. The explanation of why these Brood are rebelling and why they're upset and why they're disobeying the commands of the Brood egg or the King's egg is very interesting, and I'm really digging the syntos. Is that the right word between Captain Marvel and X-Men? Did I not use that word correctly? Cohesiveness. Let's just say cohesiveness.
Yes.
Because it's just kind of cool seeing, you know, Thompson and Gary Jerry firing on the same cylinders. Like, it's pretty cool.
It is cool. And I think this group of characters is really fun together. I have always thought that the supporting cast of this Captain Marvel run has been great. Giving oh gosh, I was trying to think of their actual names, Hazmat and Spider-Woman. Giving them, you know, places to shine, I think have been really great. And even though I'm not a huge fan of Gambit, I think he fits well, him and Rogue, Polaris, Quanon, they all fit really, really well. It just feels like a fun, cohesive team. I don't know what you would call them or what, but like straight up, if they had like a team up book with all of these characters, I would be super down for it. Like a
one hundo,
like a side list Avengers team or something. Would be fun.
Calvin says the word is synergy. Yes, I think that was the other word I was looking for.
Yeah, I think
Joe
you just kind of mouth farted a word out there. Syntos?
Yeah,
I don't know if
Syntos. Joe says about Avengers Forever, I haven't read this issue yet, but so far this event has really slipped. Jason Aaron is one of my favorite writers. What new title you think he will be in next? His Punisher book is my leading book. Well, so he's on Iron Man, right? No, wait, no, not Jason Aaron. I don't know. I wonder.
From what I understand, he's not doing any. He's going straight creator owned for a while. Like, he's not doing any big stuff. He has no more obligations to Marvel. This finishes up his contract. So
oh shit.
I don't think he is any intentions. I'm sure if he said, "Hey Marvel, let's go on one another book," they would throw one at his feet, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
But I think he has decided he wants to solely concentrate on creator owned work.
I mean, when you write a book for 5 years, you may want to take a bit of a break. Like,
yeah,
I think especially when it's the Avengers and you're spanning so many stories and spanning so many different characters. I guess, yeah, I think it makes sense to take a break. His Punisher is ending at 12 issues. Interesting. Joe, another book I'm wanting to read is picking up X-Men Monthly, but trade waiting for Captain Marvel. So now I gotta go wait and read X-Men when Captain Marvel trade comes out. Yeah, that's yep, 100%.
Yeah, but you also aren't missing out on any X Universe stuff by doing that. So
no, the other book, the X book that we haven't picked up yet, that we've been told to, is that Gambit Rogue book.
Oh yeah,
I keep on forgetting to go pick it up. I need to go do that.
I do need to do that too.
All right, Golden Goblin issue number 5. This is the last issue in the Golden Goblin series, and will continue into the Amazing Spider-Man book. But was the question answered that Norman was going to continue to be a hero? Maybe.
Of course, right.
So he is confronted and confronts the Goblin Queen, who has his sin tied to her, and she's trying to give it back. He fights. Spider-Man helps him. They get into a tussle. I'm really going fast on this book because essentially what happens is the Goblin Queen gets a hold of Peter and is like, "What about you? Do you want Norman's sins?" And she starts like psychically vomiting all of the sins into Peter. And Norman has had enough. He's just like, "Fuck this shit. I'm done." And so he picks up her weapon, which is like a mace whip or something like that. Uh-huh. And he ends up cracking the whip around her neck and snapping it and killing her.
Oh.
Yeah, just snap.
That's something.
Yeah, so, being a hero really isn't going on, it's not working out too well for Norman. And so the issue ends with him basically repeating, I had to do it, while Peter is kind of like, oh shit, here we go again. Uh-huh. But he did save his life. So who knows, I think Zeb Wells will end up picking it up in his run, and it'll be more of a mainstay within the Spider-Man run. And so we'll see, will Golden Goblin be a hero, or will he just kind of be around in the background with Peter kind of being like, should have done that, Norm. Sorry, I don't know. But that's kind of where this issue leaves it. So it's a perfect setup for Zeb in his book.
Nice.
That's about it. Let's get to chat really quick. John, I would like to see Jason Aaron take on something cosmic, but if he's going to create our own, maybe we'll get some more Southern Bastards. I've never read that.
Southern Bastards is one I haven't read yet. I know that we've already have confirmation that of 2 of his books. One of them obviously is already out, Once Upon a Time at the End of the Earth. But then another one is he has confirmed that he's doing a 3rd arc of The Goddamned. So I haven't read that either, but that's one book that a lot of people were hoping he would jump back into, and apparently that is getting a 3rd arc. I know he had Sea of Stars, but I think that one did get fully finished. I think it got its final issue last year. Yeah, I don't know. I from what I understand, dude's gonna be chilling on his own for a while. I don't think he's ever written anything for DC proper. I'd be kind of interested. DC's struggling with some help in some capacities.
That'd be a big move. I'd like that.
I mean, he doesn't have to do any exclusive contracts. We've got guys jumping back and forth. There's no reason why we can't.
John says Once Upon a Time is great. Yeah, that is a good one. I jumped off at like 2 or 3, so I need to get back on that.
I read the first 3 last week, and I just need to get 4 and 5. Or 5 is about to come out. So,
Calvin says Goblin Queen, is that Madeline Pryor or another character? It's another character. It's a clone that got embodied with Norman's sins. It's interesting because Goblin Queen is also Madeline Pryor, so there's just a lot going on there. So you can read right here. Anyway, Joe, Golden Goblin has had gorgeous covers. Yes, it has. And also Joe says that Spider-Man suit isn't the same suit Norman made. I think it is. I think he made the current suit that, not the suit that he's on the cover, but in the book he's wearing the suit that Norman made. So take that with what you will. All right. So
that's the guy's pick of the week.
It's the guy's pick of the week. Now, This is my formal pick of the week. I have another book that's another pick of the week, but this is my formal 100%. This goes on the shelf, Lee. Pick of the week, Hellcat. Holy shit, guys!
Did you get this cover too?
Yes, yes, I did. I did.
Okay.
And I'm pissed that there's not another Peach Mocha cover on issue 2.
Oh.
This was so fucking good. Cantwell wrote Hellcat really well in his Iron Man run. I think the annual that was dealing with mainly Hellcat more than Iron Man, I think he did really well. And you really had to have read really the annual, but
yeah.
If you read his Iron Man run, you also have some connectivity there. This was a number 1, but it was not a number 1, right? It was well, let me rephrase that. I think if you approached this as a new number 1, I think you could have totally understood what the hell was going on. If you make the argument that this is not a good number 1 for new readers, I think that's lazy, and I think that's what's the best way to say this? I think you're saying that for clout.
Oh.
Does that make sense? Like, I think you're just saying that because you want to ruffle feathers. You can figure out who I'm saying. I'm just saying. I think there's a lot within the comic. I'm just saying there's a lot within the comic book community that's like pissed because it's not this reintroduction of a character, yet it kind of is, right? When you read it, there were hints of like, oh, so this is Hellcat. Oh, this is what she can do. Oh, but then there were little tidbits, obviously from Cantwell's run, that said, hey, if you did your homework, I'm gonna reward you. And I think that's okay. I mean, there have been plenty of other Marvel number 1s, DC number 1s, where I've picked it up and I was like, well, I don't know what's going on. And I wasn't like, well, shit, I'm gonna go crap all over this book. I'll just go, nah, that wasn't for me. I didn't do my homework. Oops, I don't know, man. It was written well. Can we talk about the artwork for a minute? Holy hell.
Yeah. You know what vibe it gave me right away? Jorge Corona Batgirls vibe.
Okay.
Like the dark but colorful at the same time.
Yeah, but it was definitely more
gritty
and less cartoony, but it did have the color palette for sure.
I would definitely call this cartoony.
Oh, I would
call this dramatically cartoony. I mean, this isn't like Riley Rossmo stuff like the Harley Quinn
right
artist. It's not anything like that intense, but like
I think there's a hint of I don't want to say realistic, but there's a hint of something else in there that makes it doesn't. Maybe it's because it's the tone. Maybe that's what it is.
I think that's probably what it is. Yeah.
It's a mini, by the way, Joe.
It is a mini. Yeah, this is a mini, I believe.
Which is unfortunate. Absolutely unfortunate.
It is unfortunate because this is taking such an underdeveloped, underutilized character, developing her into an extremely compelling character, background story, all of that, which is hilarious because, I mean, technically she's one of the oldest characters in all of comics. She's literally older than every single Marvel superhero because of her high school romance comics that came before in the 50s. But not only that, but Cantwell brings in a secondary very underutilized Marvel superhero with Sleepwalker.
I really like that, and I don't even know shit about him.
I was super stoked they brought him in. I don't know a lot about him, but from what I've read from that 90s launch, he got launched shortly before the first Infinity Gauntlet crossover happened, and was somehow pseudo a part of that, and it was just really zany, silly, and kind of dumb, but really fun too.
Well, here's another reason why this was my pick of the week, and this, what I'm about to say, will come up again later in another book, but in not such a positive light.
Okay.
The way this book read was so genuine and so fluid. When it ended, I think again, it ended, and I was like, no, I want more.
Yeah.
I never once felt like, you need to tell me the word so I say it correctly. What's the word that I need to say when it comes to thickness?
to thickness or like a lot of words.
Yeah.
Exposition.
This book was not at no point, even when there was lengthy amount of exposition, did I feel like it was a chore to read. I was on the edge of my seat at every single word.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It just, I don't know if it was the style of it written, if it was the words that were used, but I was 100% compelled, and I never felt like I was, God, I just got to get through this book so I can get to the next one. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. Even with an introduction to a character that I don't know a lot about, I was there for it. I mean, there's so much mystery and intrigue in this book, whether it's with Hellcat or Sleepwalker and what, I mean, he's tied into this, like what's going on with this little murder mystery. But just the way it was constructed, it just had me, man. And I'm pissed that it's only a mini, but god damn, it's gonna be, pray to God Hellcat does not fall on the same week as a She-Hulk, because fuck, I'm gonna be torn.
It's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be hard, but this was great. This was a great book.
Yeah, I think if you were like Joe and you were kind of on the fence, even if you trade weight it, totally cool. But like, I would definitely say give this more credit than you thought it was. We obviously were fanboys of Hellcat, which is why we picked it up. But I can put my fanboy aside and say this is a genuinely amazing comic.
It's really good. I mean,
great
kudos.
writing, great art.
Yeah,
Lee, the Moko cover.
Yeah, Lee, make sure to put, if you have all 4 covers, or however many covers there are, put them all up on our pick of the week, please. Just take them off the shelf, like take them off where they're supposed to be, and just put them over there.
That's the guy.
That's our pick of the week, guys. All right, let's move on to Hulk. All right, so Otley has the impossible task of ending this little run here, but I think he's doing a great job. And so Titan has taken over. He has been let loose, and we get some answers, and we also get some mystery that I think will end up being a stepping stone for Philip Kennedy Johnson and Nick Klein's Hulk run.
Oh.
So, how did Bruce become in control of the Hulk? Right? How did it happen? Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. Yep. Doctor Strange had what?
How did they originally happen?
No. This run.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I got very
what we find out is that Doctor Strange is the reason why Bruce is able to control the Hulk. He essentially created this mindscape for Bruce to control the Hulk, and then essentially the mystery of El Paso happens, where people in El Paso being around Bruce started turning into Hulks and started killing each other and fighting each other. And so in that aftermath, Bruce lost it and said, you know what, I'm fucking done. And he has a conversation with Doctor Strange, like, hey, you got to chill out. And he's like, no, you helped me build this mindscape where I'm supposed to be in control, and I clearly lost it. I want to be by myself. I don't want to hurt anyone else. I want to go out into the depths of space and just live out my life, and me and the Hulk will die when we die. So that happens. We still don't quite know what. I mean, obviously it's the Titan that has infected people, but what we find out is, if I'm reading it correctly, someone posed as Doctor Strange to create this escape into Bruce's mind, to use him as a tool to unleash the Titan. Yes.
Oh, God.
This happens in the book. And we find out that the agent, because we don't find out actually who is doing it, but the being that was in Hulk's mind is what's he called? God damn it, I'm gonna have to look it up, because I looked it up and I was like, I've seen that character before. It's like he's like got a skull for a face. Let's see here. Let's keep going. Despair. Dspayre. Despair.
Okay.
So he apparently messed with Bruce's mind, but when Doctor Strange confronts him and says, what the fuck are you doing? he's like, I am only a servant. I am only carrying out the orders. So there's a bigger being at play fucking with the Hulk. While this is going on, Titan has been unleashed, and he literally blows up the planet that's covered in Hulks. He just wipes the entire planet out. So that's how the issue ends. And so we're going to find out, you know, in this last issue, how Bruce is going to, you know, fix it, or I don't know if he can. But I have a feeling that this is going to lead right into Philip Kennedy Johnson's run. We'll see. But I wasn't upset about it. When I read it, I was like, this is kind of cool. It felt rushed. Like the way it was written, it felt rushed, but I don't blame Otley for that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he's clearly going like, here we go. Right? But
yeah.
But it's outside of the pacing, I was like, dude, this is cool. Like, I like the explanation. I think this is kind of neat. Like, there's some intrigue and some mystery. So I am looking forward to the last issue. But what it really did for me was, God damn it, I wish Cates was still on the run, and that he really could have flushed out this idea that they're working on right now. So,
we're always gonna shoulda, woulda, coulda Cates' Thor and Hulk, just like y'all love to shoulda, woulda, coulda. What's his name?
Why you gotta do that? Why are you doing that? Anyway, Joe, this is what I can give Marvel more credit than I can with DC. Marvel is great at developing unknown characters better. Yeah, with Hellcat for sure. Joe, I haven't read this issue, but I wonder if the new ongoing Doctor Strange book will be him going to find out who is casting spells in the name of. You know what? I didn't even think of that. There it is. So yeah, there's multiple leads going on in this book. John, Philip Kennedy's run on Marvel's Alien comics were great. Can't wait to see what he does with the Hulk. I am actually, you know, again, I'm kind of burnt out on the Hulk, and he's not my favorite, my favorite character. But I am gonna give him and Nick Klein at least the first arc. I'm gonna do it. I think it's gonna be fun.
Everyone knows that's been around for a while how much of a PK Johnson stan that I am, but
yeah,
his two alien arcs are amazing. It's absolutely blasphemous that they took that book away from him. I cannot comprehend.
So, are you gonna read it?
What, the new Alien?
No, Hulk.
Hulk? Oh, fuck yeah, of course I am.
I thought you were. I didn't think you were gonna do it.
No, it's Philip Kennedy Johnson.
What's the chance we see PKJ take Hulk on a crazy space adventure the whole time?
Stop, Joe. I buy that shit all day.
I have to wait and see. All right, let's keep going.
I have to wait and see.
All right. Sins of Sinister, Immoral X-Men, issue number 2. What? What's wrong?
I didn't get to this.
Oh, you didn't read it?
I text you that.
Bro.
I said, cover this because I didn't, and I don't...
Read it really fast.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was great.
So, you know, we're 100 years in, and we've got the council basically questioning the relevancy and usefulness of our Sinister. And, you know, it was teased in issue 1 where he had this ultimate weapon. He had the Rasputin, this ultimate chimera in the works. And so we see that. We also see the council starting to crack on themselves. We had Rachel Summers, essentially the Sinister version of her, become a war tyrant, just you know, slaughtering countless planets and universes and cultures. And we see the Sinister version of what's her little apostle, the red guy with the hook wings, Exodus, basically backstabber because she's turned into something she's not. So we see that. Wow. So we see a little bit of movement. Yeah,
big.
See a little bit of movement there. But I think the big thing here is Rasputin is finally introduced, and she's introduced as this ultimate chimera that's going to save a lot of time for the council and the nation of Krakoa and the Sinister Nation. But we also see the Sinister show up, the Mother Superior or whatever her name is, to Sinister, and basically is kind of like, hey, you want to play? You know, do you want to play my game? And it's clear that, and I don't know for sure, but it looks like our original Sinister has given up. You know, he's finally realized possibly his error in his ways, and so he needs Rasputin to go out and get his Moiras back so that he can make everything right and get back to baseline. Now, does he get back to baseline so that he can run another simulation? Probably. Does he get back to baseline to run another simulation and he's not able to do it because of what happens? Most likely. But in this book, he's essentially tasked Rasputin, which he ends up taking away the Sinister control from her. She starts off with the red diamond on her forehead with the sense of control. Mm-hmm. And by the end of it, he wipes it and goes, be my champion, be my herald, get me back to my timeline, essentially. The coolest thing about this book, outside of Rasputin, which she's fucking amazing, is the idea of chimeras has been pushed to even further limits. And I say that with, they have a spaceship that she ends up captaining, and the spaceship is quite literally made of X-Men. So the engines are made. The
literal ship is
the ship. So the engines are powered by I can't remember the name of the mutant, but they're powered by a certain mutant. Their torpedoes are made by a certain mutant that is like consistent of energy. So when they shoot the missiles, it looks like him flying through space as they explode. So like we've pushed past just the physical embodiment of chimeras being new mutants. And now they are power sources. Now they are weapons. Now they are resources to this, in this sinister mind playground thing. I don't know what you want to call it. Crazy good issue. Wasn't my pick of the week, obviously, because Hellcat was so amazing. But Karen Gillan delivered. And the way, again, and this, I'm sure it's just me being hopeful, but it does really feel like Rasputin might make it out. She might actually make it into the 616 Krakoan era. You read it.
I have never heard a more fanboy take in my life. Like, probably zero evidence of that. It could literally say in the back, Rasputin will never be seen in another comic again. And he'd be like, I don't know, guys. She might be in the 616. It's coming up.
Guys, mark my words. 319. Rasputin is making it out of this event. She will be a main character, or she will be seen in X-Men comics.
Damn, he's going all that way.
Yeah.
Joe said, I'm waiting to read this event in trade. So can I read them out of release order and read each title back to back, or no? In this case, absolutely not. Gotta read it in release order, because these are they're broken up into thirds. So one of each issue is 10 years after Sinister, 100 years after Sinister, right? And then 1,000 years, or is it 110, 100? I forget.
Wait, sorry, I was reading chat. What did you say?
What is the three timelines? How many is it? 1 year after, 10 years after, 100 years after?
1 year, 100,000.
Okay. So, no, 10 years, 100,000. Right? It doesn't matter.
10 years, 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. Yep.
Either way, Joe, no, you got to read them in release order. You can't read them all three Immoral, all three Night Crawlers, whatever they are, and then all three Storm of the Brotherhood. You got to read them in release order, or else they won't really flow very well. I mean, I guess
I can tell you now,
as a comics reader, you could figure it out, but I would just read it in order.
Is this the cover y'all are talking about? As for the Nightcrawler book, dude, it is, the first one is like, okay, kind of see what's going on. Second issue, like, but I don't know, gone. Yeeted. Anyway, really enjoyed it. Cannot wait. Next week we get the Storm issue 2, so Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants, and that one's gonna be, it's fucking Al Ewing, like, duh, it's gonna be good. So, but this was fantastic. All right, let's jump over to our independents, and we have Behold Behemoth issue number 4, and we Santa delivered. We got what we wanted. We got some lore. We got some decent lore. Did you not read it?
Oh no!
What?
I forgot about this book too.
Bro.
Where is it? I have my whole stack here.
Where is it? Well, let's spoil it for him, guys.
Spoil it for me.
We finally get the horror aspect of this book.
Horror?
When this book was first
horror.
Yes, horror.
I thought you said the horror aspect.
No, Jim, find the Alex Ross villain cover variant of Frost. On what book?
No, Calvin, no DC this week.
No, we didn't. Yeah, fuck, I didn't do DC. Anyway, let me get back to this.
That's rude.
So when this book was initially solicited, it was like this horror whole behemoth book, and I was like, we read it, and I was like, this doesn't look kind of horror. It's more kind of apocalyptic, dystopian, bleh, like kind of not necessarily steampunk, but just punky. And we finally got the horror, right? So we've been trying to figure out what we got a little bit of the backstory.
You keep saying that very incorrectly.
What?
We got the horror.
Well, we
horror.
will. Horror. What am I saying?
You're saying whore. WHORE. You're saying whore.
Horror.
Horror. Thank you.
Horror. Whatever. Anyway, you can't, Nate. You can't even hear right. So don't start telling me how I'm saying words wrong.
Listen, we don't need any prejudice against my hearing abilities.
Anyway, in issue 3, we got a backstory of to what the behemoths were, and they were tools to fight demons from heaven. And our main character, his brother, was a holder or a carrier of one of the behemoths, and then he died. And so the behemoth was transferred to this little girl, and in doing that, the main character became the protector of the little girl and the behemoth. It's kind of like this law of transition. Well, we find out in this book that the behemoth was the reason why our main character's brother died. The behemoth is corrupted. It killed his brother because it wants to escape. It does not want to adhere to the rules of behemoths, which is they're held inside of a vessel and they pop out when they have to fight demons. It is corrupted and it wants to get out. In order to get out, it's going to have to kill this little girl. Yeah. So pretty crazy. And so the little girl is having discussions with the behemoth, and he's like just a little bit closer. Like he's nurturing her to use her to get out. And so now our main character comes to the realization that, or we come to the realization that he knows that his brother was murdered by the entity that was inside of him. He feels compelled and obligated to save this little girl, even though it's the source of his grief. We also find out that the previous protector of his brother, who he finds out all this information about, is actually hunting them because she wants to set this whole idea of the behemoths correctly. She wants to set it back into its rightful place. And in order to do that, she has to kill the little girl, and he doesn't want to do it. So they're being hunted by the same person, this police officer that we meet at the beginning, who has been trying to help them. She is now hunting them. Fucking nuts. Shit. Yeah, dude. No, quite literally, when I read it, I said that. Like, she pops up, she pulls off her biker helmet, it's the cop, she's going to kill the little girl, and I was like, oh shit. So for the second night in a row, I don't know about you, Nick, because you didn't read it, this is my second and or pick of the week.
Yes, cheers. Pick of the week.
You don't get two.
I got two. I'm sorry, I got two. I got two, man. It's good, man. This is the my favorite word. This is the penultimate issue. God damn, I can't believe you didn't read this.
Yeah, I did read this. Not bad.
So disappointed. You need to read it after the show. All right. Well, before we go on to our next book, we're going to get to Joe's halftime question. Does the comic book industry rely on free marketing from the comic book community? If so, do you think the writers should do YouTubers free interviews to help their channels in return? Yes. I mean, I don't think that they don't necessarily do free advertising. I know they when you go to like New York, sometimes you'll see like advertisements for here we go again.
There it is.
You'll see them do advertisements like for certain events.
I'll take over.
Go ahead, go. No, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you are right, but I also think Joe has a very valid point that compared to any other entertainment industry, comics essentially spends no money on advertising compared to any other entertainment industry.
Okay.
I mean, you've got movies that are doing $1 million campaigns on Twitter and on Facebook and on TikTok, and you've got all kinds of like social media creations, and you've got look at Megan Trainor. She's like coming out with TikTok dances before her songs even come out to try to get them hyped up so everyone knows what the songs are. So compared to any other form of media, comic books don't do shit. I do think that a lot of the community does prop up a lot of that for comics. I don't know if I would go so far as to say that there's any sort of I don't know, that they're beholden to do that. But I will say that I think that there are some creators out there that do more public interactions, like appearing on podcasts or YouTube channels or stuff like that. And those people tend to be more favorable in comic viewers' eyes. I'm thinking in particular Chip Zdarsky, Ryan Stegman, Zach Thompson, let's see,
Karen Gillan.
Matt Rosenberg.
He was on there with Comic Book Herald the other day.
Karen Gillan for sure. I think that there's a certain amount of people that will go out of their way to appear on more of these things. I do think it benefits them more often than not. I don't know. I don't know that I would say that they should do free interviews, but
no, I don't think they should do free interviews, but I also think and you know what, I think our the community itself
Calvin.
What?
He said
yeah, right.
Two sick guys
pull this. What up, Turtle? Shit, what was I gonna say? I think it's tricky, right? Because you don't, in this day and age, you can email anybody like, hey, we'd love for you to be on our show, and you don't know what that channel's about, right? There's how many channels are there, before we even started, that are just bitching and moaning and complaining about woke comics. You got to be careful.
Yeah,
so it's kind of scary. And the other thing is you don't want to go on one of these podcasts and you know that they're genuine, and you end up leaking or you end up saying something that you didn't want to say, and then it's all over the internet, and you're in trouble with Marvel or you're in trouble with DC because you said something that was supposed to be a secret until whatever. But I do think, and I'm saying this since it's obvious that it's biased, because I want to see, I want us to start interviewing. I would love to interview some of our favorite writers and artists for the show, and not just because of the clout and for the content, but just because I'm genuinely curious. And I know we'll get there at some point. We'll get to that point where we'll have the credibility to actually interview our favorite. I want it. We're trying right now. We're working very hard to get creators to come onto the show, and you got to be relentless, and we're going to. But yeah, I'm with you there. I don't think they should feel obligated, but at the same time, I think it would only develop and prop the community and the hobby up even more. It might take it down the road of vinyl. Like vinyl's having a resurgence, right? And I feel like comics they're in a good spot, but they could be even a better spot if the creators were more inclined to go on not so prominent shows and podcasts. I think it'd be totally beneficial. So, really love the question, Joe. Thank you for it.
Joe, Marvel does, and it is surprisingly close to the name of our show. They have a podcast and a YouTube channel called the Marvel Weekly Pull List, where they have a dude. Actually, they're. Oh man, I'm not gonna be able to remember her name now. There's a fairly
Are they still
well-known
around?
girl in
Are they still
comics.
around still?
Yeah. They're still doing it. It's been a while since I've paid attention to them, but yeah, they do roundups of their weekly polls and any other Marvel news that's going on, and they are 2 Marvel employees, like they work for Marvel.
Nice. Well, maybe if they retire, they can hire us.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's keep going. House of Slaughter. Did you read this? This is
I
your
did.
book. Okay.
I read
Good.
I did. This book was still good. It was great. It was, maybe not quite as compelling or dramatic as the first 2 issues of this arc, but still really good. Here we see Jace sort of catching up to everybody in New Orleans in the house of Butcher or Boucher. I still don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. And we see him speaking with this, but we're ominous figure that we're not exactly sure. She like controls ravens that seem like they're her familiars, but we're not exactly sure if that's the truth. But she was like, "I begged you to not leave when you left, and now that you're here, I'm telling you, fuck out. You don't want to be back here."
Oh shit.
Especially because he starts, telling her, he's like, "No, I'm raising." "Oh, you're raising your own little mini butchers." He's like, No. I'm raising to have normal lives." And she's like, "Oh, so now you're weak as fuck. Like, you definitely need to leave. Like, you do not need to be here." And unfortunately, on the other side of the story, we see his pseudo sister that he was raised with, who is still with the house, and the boy that they saved from the monster. They finally get him back to the house of Butcher and are like, "Hey, like, come in and meet the family." And he's like, "Actually, no, I'm kind of nervous. I want to go back to my dad." And she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, we planned a whole dinner for you, and everyone's here to say surprise and eat dinner and have dessert with you. But I guess if you don't want to eat our steaks." And I'm like, "Oh God, this sounds awful." Like, it sounds so bad. But the kid's like, "Well, okay, I guess I'll come in and eat desserts." And they keep like slowly coaxing him. Oh, then he meets the leader, their guy with the dragon mask. And, they eventually coax him into staying the night, just tonight. And the way that the book finally ends is we see him getting locked into his own bedroom by himself while they release a monster in there. And the only weapon he has is the other blade that Jace is holding in this cover that he stole from Jace when he ran away. So they're basically initiating him into the family. So he's going to either survive and become a white mask with the rest of the House of Butcher, or he's going to get massacred by this monster. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. I'm sure he'll survive. But yeah, this was a little bit more of a dense book with not nearly as much action, but it felt very necessary to like, for as much action as we've gotten in the previous 2 issues, I feel like we probably needed the extra exposition in this story.
Interesting.
Yeah, overall, I'd B+. It was good. Nothing super crazy, but still a great book that doesn't make any sense why anyone that likes comics would read.
Right.
That's you.
Anyway, Joe says, question number 2. Is it fair to say that Spider-Man is becoming overrated? Most people's top 3 heroes are Superman, Batman, Spider. But only Spider-Man hasn't really done anything in a while, as there are... I'm sure there's a second part. Is Spider-Man overrated?
Spider-Man becoming... Most people's top 3 heroes.
What do you think?
I don't think there's a second part. I think that's
All right.
Spider
Oh, the
like
others are. Sorry.
as the others are.
Gotcha.
Well, I would say, as someone who has not ever really been a huge Spider-Man fan, I don't know if Spider-Man is becoming overrated or if all of the Spider-Man shills are starting to realize that he was overrated.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't know that I can answer that without my bias. I don't know, because I do think Spider-Man is a great character, and I think he's overrated. I think Spider-Man stories, probably if we're going to keep de-aging him and not allowing him to grow up and not allowing him to we should have stopped that in like the 80s, and he should have died off, and like probably when they brought Ben Reilly on, Peter Parker should have been gone forever, and then Ben Reilly. Then we can keep changing the Spider-Man man and allowing him to be the like prepubescent or just out of high school sort of kid guy thing. If we want to do that, that's fine. But like, it is very overrated to continue to do that same story since the 60s. I think I do think that juxtaposing those two against Superman and Batman is really interesting too, because we don't really have a fun and solid Spider-Man family. There are some great characters that are from the Spider world that are important and doing their own things, but they don't interact at all. And you see what the relaunch with Dawn of DC of Superman is doing right now. We've got literally Action Comics is essentially a Superman family book. You see what's going on with Batman, and Batman's got multiple of his own books. Nightwing's got his own book. The Batgirl's got their own book. For years and years, Red Hood's been having his own book. Tim Drake's got his own book, and he's about to get another book with a relaunch title and his new name. And yeah, I do think those two titles are doing things a lot better than Spider-Man right now. And I think Spider-Man fans would probably tell you, or not Spider-Man fans, maybe Marvel editorial and Nick Lowe, the head of Spider-Man editorial, would probably tell you, we've been doing those things. We did Spider-Man Beyond, and we did Sin Eater, and we did all this.
Right.
Things. They just fell massively flat.
Well, I think as when it comes to Spider-Man events, you know, it's gonna sound like a broken record, but I think you need someone like a Jonathan Hickman or a Donny Cates or a Jason Aaron to do something that is so just out, you know, breaking the mold of this continuous storyline from the 60s. And Marvel has it, right? Marvel has the idea. They could totally do what Action Comics is doing right now with the Spider Family. And they've done it kind of with these little minis about the Spider-Verse, right? And the Spider whatever, where like they're kind of mixing along together, but then they go their own separate ways. Fuck it. Bring them all in. Bring them all, you know, bring a set amount, whether it's 6 or 8, bring them in and let's have them have, it's a Spider-Man family, team, whatever you want to call it, and it's an ongoing. And they are doing 616 shit, but there are multiple Spider-Men, Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, Peter Parker, Spider-2099, Spider-Punk. You know what I mean? Like you can add to the list. They're adding to the list now in Spider-Verse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do it. Let it be. Don't. It's not a fucking. It's not a mini. Do it. Hey, do it. It's not a mini. It's not a maxi. It's an ongoing. Let it go. Let it happen, because there are obviously these characters are popular, right? The variants of Spider-Man are popular. Look at Into the Spider-Verse movie. I've watched that thing 50 million times with my kids, and I absolutely love it. Like it just it embodies the idea of Spider-Man, yet you get the variation, right? And we're getting a second one, and I am so stoked when that movie comes out. Why not have an actual comic book that is, that is that. I know that there have been events about it. I know that there are plenty of minis about it, but why not make it continuity? Why not make it a solid, make it worth the money you're putting into pumping out a twice a month Spider-Man book with a shitty artist on it and a drawn out story that we cannot get any consistency with. This turned into a rant.
It did, but I think Calvin has my favorite point of all, and that Spider-Man is focusing more on games and movie tie-ins and fixing. And I do think that's a big part.
Look, put Donny Cates on Spider-Man. Okay.
Well, that's what Joe said. Joe said, he said comic sales would still show that Spider-Man is probably outselling 90% of all other books. But what have been some game changer storylines that he's done recently? He can't even get the best creative teams. And that's a big, big problem. He can't get the best creative team.
He froze. He froze. Oh, this stinks. I might have to call him back. Give me 1 second, chat. Let's go to oh. We're gonna go. Wait, are you there?
Did you not hear any of that?
No, I heard can't get the best creative team. And then you paused, and then I heard there you go. Okay, cool, you're back. All right, so hey, say that again. Start over.
Okay. So he can't get the best creative teams. You heard me say that, right?
Yeah, he can't get the best creative teams.
He can't get the best creative teams, which is a problem. Because it's not only that Marvel won't put those teams on there; it's that the creators are straight up denying it. Literally, so many people have fan cast Chip Zdarsky as the next writer of ASM before we got Zeb Wells, and Chip Zdarsky has straight up said, "I do not want the ASM title. I do not want the constraints and the massive editorial overreach that comes with ASM. I don't want it." And when you have creators who most people would say it is their life goal or would be career changing for them to get on the ASM book, when they say they don't want to, that's a problem. That's a big problem.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So, I don't know.
Calvin, he's bad mouthing Spider, and this is what happens. Yeah, dude, be careful.
I'm not bad mouthing Spider-Man. I mean, in that case, I definitely will bad mouth Spider-Man.
John, Spider-Man's best when he has a large cast of fleshed out side characters and has ongoing struggles to maintain a personal life. Yeah.
Sure. He can have an ongoing struggle to maintain a personal life. As long as that personal life isn't, I'm 20-ish years old and I can't be with my girlfriend and oh, I'm so confused and awkward and I'm poor. And my poor Aunt May. Aunt May needs to be fucking dead. He doesn't need to be poor anymore. He needs to consistently be with Mary Jane or she needs to be killed off. I'm so tired of this.
Dude, you're glitching out. I heard everything you said, but you're freezing. It's like Marvel's going, shut that dude up. Right. Shut him up now.
Come on, we got 2 more books.
All right, let's talk about Forged, issue number 1 from Image Comics. This is a thick boy. It's magazine style. Yeah. What happened in this book? Hard to say.
Yeah.
Hard to say, but I will say that's not a bad thing. Now there are certain books. There's another book that we're about to talk about.
Bad thing.
Well, hold on. Did you read No One? You didn't read No One, did you? Okay, then you can't.
That one I didn't not read on. I read that one. I skipped it on purpose.
Okay, so compared to No One, I'm okay with not knowing what the fuck is going on. And that's exactly what's going on in this book. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of lore thrown at you. There's a lot of big terms and world building terms that aren't necessarily in our actual world's vocabulary. So there's a lot of that you have to understand that I think you will get to as this run continues, right? But overall, yes, it is a group of badass women that ride bio, or not bio, ride
Mech
or
suits.
mech suits, and are they're the Marines. They're the Space Marines. They go in and kill shit. They go in.
I don't
and
know.
take
Maybe not mech suits. They're more like Halo suits.
Yeah. So they're not
Or maybe
giant
a cross
robots.
between the two.
It's just an outer shell suit, and they go in and they do the dirty work, right? But then we have this cosmic empire that is, expanding and and has this like scientific witch religion leading it, right? So right then there,
Something
you're like, what, right? And there's just a lot going on in the book, and I am intrigued. But I wasn't at the end of it. I was questioning and going like, wait, what just happened? But it was a good what just happened. I'm definitely picking up issue 2, what just happened, rather than wait, why did I read this and waste my time and what just happened and I'm not picking up issue 2? That is quite the opposite when it comes to Forged. It's a crazy book. The artwork, phenomenal. The format, 100. Yeah, look at this. 100%
atmospheric shit.
Yeah, it lends itself perfectly. Mike said it best at the shop. It works. It just works.
Mm-hmm.
Babes and bots. That's right, Calvin. It's good. It is good, but it is definitely world building, and it does not give a fuck that you if you understand it or not. It's gonna do its thing, and that's it. Yep. Yeah, that was fucking cool. So yeah, I'm on.
I will knock the writing a little. I wish so. There's a ton. By the way, there's a ton. This is a $5.99 issue, but there's like 60 pages here, and it's bigger format, right? And in the back, you get a plethora of bonus materials. So we get like this whole mantra. We get this really cool graphic of the entire galaxy of like what the different holdings are in the different zones, and they're like agricultural worlds and shit like that. And then we get these massive pages of exposition that tell you all kinds of lore shit about the world that I honestly couldn't be fucking bothered to read.
Yeah, I didn't read it.
Because if as much time was given in writing this as there were into putting into the story, maybe I would have understood it a little bit better, or it would have made a little bit more sense. But I was like, I came here to read a comic, and if you can't nail the comic, I'm not going to give you the effort.
Right.
Your essay in the back. That's just kind of me being an ass, I guess. But they even went so far to give us an entire page of their docs. So there's a lot of bonus materials in the back of this book for sure. I would still say for $5.99, this is a high quality value bait for your buck.
Yeah, for sure. I'm picking up issue 2. So we'll see, but I liked it. I'm intrigued to learn more, but yeah, I'm not reading the essays in the back. All right, is this our last book? Nope. Okay. No one. I'm gonna be quick. Fucking sucks. All right, let's go. No, let me go back to it. Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's gonna be dramatic, everyone.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh wow. Uh-huh.
Oh, cool.
Oh, we
really
got
cool.
The title again.
Oh, cool too. Like, what this guy is like a cyborg Batman.
He's taking a long time to make his point here.
Okay. All right. I get what's. Oh. What? God damn!
You want to see any of this shit?
No. Look at it. Look at how many words.
I can't tell.
Okay.
Looks like a lot of words.
Oh, more. What are we doing? Oh, we're just talking.
We really hate words on this issue.
No. We're just talking. We're just talking.
Uh-huh.
We're just talking. Oh, something happened. Oh no, don't. It's okay. This is. Wait, what? More talking. Oh, something happened. The end.
I don't understand.
100%. Exactly. 100%, Nate.
Oh.
That's what I'm trying to convey.
I mean, okay.
This book was boring as fuck, and it I'm just moving on. That was the worst review I have ever done. It was horrible. I was not at all. Let me go back. I was not intrigued. It's not written by Higgins, right? It's written by the other guy, but it feels like it was
Chicken
written.
Double guy.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't. That got me hyped when you said it. It was not good. It was. Rick, yeah, screw dialogue. Hey guys, just came in. No, that's not the problem. It's just it was a massive buildup to like, hey, there was a murder. The murder was done by this guy. He confessed, but there are these copycat murders. Great, I get it. But we use the entire book to convey this idea over and over and over and over and over again to the point where we're like, I don't care. I'm done. I'm over it. This is stupid. It just didn't. It didn't do it for me. Like the way this comic was described in the solicitations did not match what it did. Right? This cover is a red herring at best. It was boring. It was boring, and I wanted it to be more than what it was. I could be wrong. I could be shitting on this book, and I'm sorry. If you really enjoyed it, I'm sorry, and I should be less negative. But my expectations were way up here because the writer was Chicken Devil, right? And that book is fantastic. We got into here, and it felt like Kyle Higgins writing about him being a failed writer, and he had to go back home, and woe is me. And it was the same fucking thing. I'm a journalist, Craig. I'm not an investigative reporter. Okay. No, but I'm going to ram it down your throat that that's what this character is. The beginning pages and the very last pages were the most compelling part of this book after we'd already understood that this dude has been pinned for these murders. He confessed it. Oh, by the way, he's the son of the commissioner who's also, running the police department. And we just get that dragged over and over and over and over and over and over again to the point where like, I didn't care. Am I picking up issue 2? No, I'm, it's Infernal Girl Red, and that's it for me. I'm just incredibly disappointed. I spent $3.99 on a book that I felt like I had to labor through it. I hated it. Anyway, let's get to the chat. I'm sorry, that was horrible. Turtle, I think it's healthy to meet both sides of the aisle when it comes to comics. At the end of the day, it doesn't help if one side believes they are right when sales don't reflect the end result. But what are we talking about? Is this about that one or no? I'm not. I may not agree with CG says about, but I can say my list of comics I read weekly is slowly shrinking, and the comic stores around me are also closing shop. Something has to give and change. Oh, I see what you're saying. Joe, speaking of heavy dialogue, I'm super bummed that Sai is writing Flash next. Flash has been my fun quick popcorn read. Now I need a degree to read it. Oh, dang. Turtle, I think a lot of the disagreement comes from certain variables that come to be changed, like writers, direction, and social media. John, I picked up No One, and now I don't want to read it. I'm sorry, dude. Don't do that. Read it, and then come to your conclusion. I'm sorry. Kyla, however, the last of the Barbarians will make up for it. Calvin, Turtle, comic shops are closing because print media and physical stores are dying in general. I gave up on Psy and Legion of X. Gotcha. Rick, I'm glad I didn't pick it up now. I mean, if you're genuinely I feel bad now. If you're genuinely curious about it, I'd say pick it up, but just know that 90% of the book we're dealing with characters that are side characters, it seems. I could be wrong, maybe they're the main characters, but they feel like side characters, and they are setting up the entire story for you, but the story, like, it's set up for you within the first 4 pages after the big splash, and it doesn't need to go any further than that. But it is just crammed down your throats of what is happening, to the point where, like, you don't care. And when you finally get this character, this vigilante, it feels lost. It feels like you're kind of like, oh shit, there's something actually going on now, and I'm so disinterested that I don't care anymore. The solicit is so much more interesting than the actual book. I'm sorry, like, and that's my opinion. I don't want to discourage anyone from not picking it up. If you feel like you want to pick it up and go check it out, do it. Go give it its give it some love, you know, and check it out. Maybe you do like it, but for me, it just, expectation was here, and it's down on the ground. I don't know, man. John, I don't feel bad. I appreciate the opinion. Thank you, John. Turtle, comic shops and comic creators need to be on the same base. From what I'm hearing, when comic shop owners give their feedback, it's not received with the big two at all. There's definitely, I mean, you've got to have more irons in the fire than you may want when it comes to owning a comic shop. You know, you can't just be in it for the comics. You got to be in with other things, and so it's definitely hard. You don't got to be sorry, Mister. We tune in to hear y'all's opinion for a reason. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. All right, well, I'm gonna wait for Nate to come back because he's definitely involved in the next book. I'm sure he read it, and that's gonna be Nocteria. And I think Nocteria is our last book, and I'm very interested to hear what he has to say about it. Because
go ahead, I'm almost back.
Okay, he's almost back. What are you doing? Eating some pizza? You said that really weird.
No, my kid is crying.
Oh, okay, got it. All right, next up, and our last book of the night is Nocteria, issue number 13 or 12. It's back. And you know, I think I said it on the new comic book day video. I was a little worried that I'd be kind of like, wait, what? You know, kind of disconnected. And no, I felt very genuine. I love that Dom, is it Dom? Is the new, like, the brother. Emery. That Emery is now kind of the head of the book, which it feels right. It feels natural, unlike the second arc where it was the granddaughter and I gave two shits. I really like Val as a shade, or as a shadow, or whatever they're called. I think that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then I liked the ending. I liked that Blacktop Bill is not really dead, and he's a servant of the night, and he's fucking scary. Like, it was like, ooh, shit. Now, what's the word again? The big word? A lot of words.
Exposition.
It's gonna take me a minute. Exposition. There was a lot of it in here, and there were times where I was like, I'm just gonna read the actual dialogue between the characters. I'm just gonna skip. I just can't. And what it reminds me of, because it's Scott Snyder, whom I'm not trying to shit on, but Scott, listen, it's clear that Scott Snyder is more old school when it comes to his style of writing, where he writes paragraphs of what you're looking at, where he describes what they're doing into. Okay, so let me give you an instant. When they're finally leaving the big sphere and they're driving their 18-wheelers off, and they strapped a carcass of one of the shades onto the top of the carcass, he describes doing that in detail. When you can look at it on the panel, it's very clear that's what they did. He does that numerous times throughout the book, where he's describing what we're looking at in detail, when you can just let the artwork do that. It's very plain to see that that's going on. Another book that I read that a writer that does that does it profusely is McFarlane. Spawn. When you read a Spawn book, there's a little bit of dialogue, but it's mainly big triangle or rectangular dialogue boxes, or not dialogue, description boxes of what you're already looking at, and it explains more in detail of what the artwork is already portraying.
Okay.
And that's frustrating to me.
I found what you're saying, and I 100% agree, and I want to point it out to everyone. So it's this right page here, this full page, and it's really hard to tell, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 paragraphs of dialogue on this page. These first 2 up here at the top are literally just telling you that they put a monster up here and then they put the gun right here. You're right. They eat it like that. I think that just kind of shows you the image creator owned, editorial's not quite as tight kind of stuff.
100.
Because you're right, that could have easily been omitted and then still had a full page of dialogue there, or not dialogue, but a full page of explanation.
How many times in Hellcat did you see something like that?
0 times. 0 times.
0 times. And everything that was conveyed via dialogue or imagery worked in unison. And it just seems unnecessary. It's like, oh shit, I didn't put enough in the book. And so they write. Like they just take, essentially they take what they sent to the artist, right? Because we saw a little bit of snippet of that with Philip Kennedy Johnson. We saw what he sent to Nick Klein, so how he creates his panels. Mm-hmm. It's like Snyder was like, there's not enough on this page. I'm just going to put it in there so that it really feels like you're reading a comic book. And no, it feels more like I'm reading a book. And that's, I mean, again, I'm not saying it's bad. Read books. It just it takes me out of the world building, and I guess I see it more as like I can see Scott going, no, this is very informative to the reader. It's very beneficial to the reader to read this because it'll make it feel more immersed into the idea that I'm trying to build. And for me, it's like, nope, it takes me right out. It feels like a chore, and I genuinely like Noctera. So stop it. Just let the characters do the talking. Let the artwork do the talking.
I will say that's a good critique, but overall, I think we both would agree that this is a very good book.
100%.
This was I feel like Volume 1, Arc 1 was way up here.
Yep.
We had a little drop off in Arc 2, especially with the narration. And I feel like so far with 3, we're much higher towards 1 because Emery feels much, much more natural as a narrator of this book than the granddaughter ever did, and I'll never remember her name.
Yeah.
I will say, by the way, I don't know if anyone will remember this, but when we did at one point when we talked about this book in a video recorded, I basically said, we're not going to see Val at all, except for maybe 1 or 2 pages, the whole arc. She's not going to be involved at all. And here I am going to eat crow, and I was totally wrong. She's like, boom, right smack dab in the middle the entire time. Like literally 5 pages into this book, she's there again. I was like, oh well, okay, I was wrong. I thought for sure she was not going, and they were going to give Emery a chance to lead the team without her being there. I know she's still saying he's the team now, but I thought they were going to give him the chance to lead the team without her even there. Mm-hmm. I'm not even complaining that she is there. I'm just saying I was wrong.
She's going to be the bodyguard. She's going to be the muscle, and I'm for it. Sure. Joe says Spawn Books might not write anything game changer, but guys, for only $2.99 with beautiful art and cardstock covers, it's something they do best about. I call it bubblegum comics. I don't have. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing against Spawn Comics whatsoever. It's just the style in which McFarlane and now Scott Snyder are writing. It's very obvious that it's just an older school version of writing, and for me, you know, as this critique, as it comes for like the coolness of Spawn and the artwork and the material that it's printed on, 100, dude, I'm there for it. It just feels like there's a lack of confidence within. To me, my perception is that there's a lack of confidence in the story that you're telling, so you have to put that stuff in. And to me, it just sucks you out of the book. It doesn't matter how good the artwork is. I'm like, God damn it, this feels like a damn chore, because there's probably something there may be something very specific and special that I need to read in here, important that I need to read in here, and I'm not going to read it because it just, I don't need to be told what I'm looking at. I don't need to read at what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? Like, give the reader a little bit more credit. I'll talk about another book that I think me and you both, it was our pick of the week consistently when it came out, and that's Lila Starr. Lila Starr never felt like every bit of dialogue I wanted to consume, every bit of writing I wanted to consume, I was sitting on the edge of my seat to read it because it was so compelling. And there are definite traces of that in Noctera. It's clear because this is a good book. This was really good, and it's got me excited for the rest of the series. But cut it out with telling me how to explain to me what I'm looking at. My eyeballs they work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like reading an audiobook. John, most anticipated release for next Wednesday. Should we? I guess we could give a little tease, right?
Yeah.
How about this?
I've already got mine prepared.
Well, hold on. Don't outright say it.
I'm not right saying it.
Don't outright say it.
I am.
Don't do that. Stop.
Are you gonna tell me why?
Well, because we want people to go watch the video, right? We want
to all of these guys here are gonna go watch the.
There's other people.
They're the guys that are here listening live. I'm gonna give them the bonus.
But there's other people that are gonna watch this as a past episode that may have never heard of us. I'd say just tease it. That's my opinion. You got to use one word.
Number one.
There you go. That's perfect.
Number one.
Perfect. Green. Okay. There we go.
Also, you get a manga bonus, and I will straight up tell you what this is.
Okay.
Crazy Food Truck Volume 3 comes out next week.
What the fuck is that?
And I told you about it when it first came out. It is a goofy ass funny book that delves into it slightly dips its toes into the weird pervy kind of shit that kind of
I love pervy. Pervy's so good.
Manga, but this does it in a really hilarious way. It's basically this dude driving a food truck across a post-apocalyptic wasteland.
I do not remember you telling me about this.
Food to the people, and he picks up a girl who looks like she needs help. It turns out she's like an escaped Captain America like super soldier.
Nathan, why are you doing this to me?
So Crazy Food Truck Volume 3 comes out next week. If you haven't jumped on that one, we're only 3 volumes in. It's a brand new manga. I would definitely go get that one.
Well, now I'm gonna go buy 1, 2, and
2?
3 because I'm also picking up another one. God damn it! I don't have money for this. My wife's gonna kill me.
I've got manga coming out for like the next 4 weeks that I'm excited about.
I thought you were like, I got manga coming out of my ears.
Coming out of my ears.
Well, damn it! Now I'm gonna have to go pick that up.
I'll the next big one comes out April 12th, but I'll wait a little before I tell it.
No, tell me.
I'll tell you, but before I tell chat.
Then tell me. Okay, cool. All right, let's. Oh shit, Joe's got a third question. He doesn't want this shit to end. What's your favorite type of stories to read? Mine is political conspiracy thrillers.
Oh, that's really hard.
That is hard. Tough. That's very hard.
Favorite types of stories.
I like. You know what? It's not hard. I like Elseworld stories. I really dig that. I really like the Elseworld style story because it takes an idea that may be kind of outplayed or a character that might be just, it just might be, it needs a little bit of a refresh, a reimagination, if you will. And I don't know. I just have really, when it comes to the major two, when it comes to DC and Marvel, I like Elseworld. I think Elseworld really kicks it for me, like really puts it over the top. If I had to say independent, it's gonna be more of a writer, which is Daniel Warren Johnson. Like just his style of storytelling, his metal story of telling. That's me. That's my wheelhouse, So as for Elseworld, Tom Taylor's DC Knights, Peach Momoko's Demon World, anything Donny Cates, like him just kind of creating this own mythos and really breaking the boundaries of characters. I don't know if that's the right answer, but that's the one I'm going to give.
Mine's a little bit different. I will tell Groupfall. No, it is not. It is not Groupfall. It's a manga. If Groupfall might be a manga, I'm just messing up. Mine's different whether I'm talking about comics or novels. If it's novels, it's probably political or religious fantasy sci-fi shit. So just to give you an example, that would be like Game of Thrones or a Foundation, the Foundation trilogy by Isaac Asimov. So anything that's like political in the background, looking at like realms, empires from a large scale, and then breaking it down individually, I find that really compelling, whether it's a sci-fi or fantasy setting. You don't really see much like that in comics. If it's comics, for me, favorites would probably be like underhanded horror, basically Tinian horror. So horror you're not really anticipating to be terrifying, like The Closet. I would say that right now The Closet's on my short list of best comics of all of 2022, just because of how impactful it was. Because like it was horror, but like the horror was that it made me feel like a fucking villain as a father, just because that father was so horrible. It makes me terrified to be that guy. So that's some messed up kind of horror. That or Star Wars.
Star Wars. Nice.
Anything
Like
Star Wars.
Love that. Hey, by the way, I don't know, this may be a nationwide thing, I'm not sure. But Barnes & Noble currently is having buy one, get one 50% off manga sales right now.
Fuck you. Don't say that to me.
Hey, well, I'm going to say it to you because I do not remember you telling me about this crazy food truck, and now I'm going to have to go get it tomorrow. You did not.
I bought it from Ron.
You lie. Anyway, Horror Comics Night of Ghouls 1 through 3 is my favorite of last year.
I will check it out right now, actually.
I'm going to go get this lazy food truck. Like, I cannot believe. So, explain it to me again. So, the girl that he picks up is actually a super soldier?
Yeah, she's like a super soldier on the run from. She also has an insatiable appetite and can't comprehend that her naked body is a weird thing. Like, she doesn't understand why the food truck driver keeps wanting her to put clothes on. She's like, I don't get it.
Down.
They keep finding themselves in precarious situations, and like it looks like they're about to die, and she like finds a way to murder everyone.
So you've read the first 2 volumes?
Yeah, they're good.
God damn it!
They're fun. They're fun.
I'm gonna go buy that. I'm literally going tomorrow to go pick that up.
Definitely quintessential Silly Goose time.
I'm about Silly Goose time. Like, love it. All right, cool. I'm about to be in the red when it comes to my fun money because
that's right.
Oops. I gotta go sell some Pokemon cards. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for episode 124 of Two Fat Guys Pull List. What a fun time, guys! That was amazing. Yeah, like I believe, like Joe said, make sure to smash that like button,
Snyder
lovers. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you haven't already liked this video, hit that like button. Let's get to 850 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button too. We're right there, guys. We're at 803. I mean, let me double check again because again. Some people like the channel because of our shorts, which sometimes don't have anything to do with comics, and then they come and they're like, what the fuck is this? And they end up unsubscribing. So we're still at 803. Yeah, I made a short about trying to figure out what to have for dinner with your wife, and that thing is blowing up right now. We're at
that's silly.
Let's see, how many views are we at on that thing? Let's just go to the analytics.
Who said this? John. Thank you for suggesting that. I have seen that many times. Looks like the trade comes out in June. Might have to throw that up.
That video, where it's asking your wife what she wants for dinner, and she says she doesn't care. 27,922 votes, or views, not votes, views.
Huh?
Yeah,
that's a couple.
That's a couple. So anyway. Just make sure to subscribe, guys. We're so close to 850. And then by the time we hit 850, I feel like we're just going to push really quickly to 950 and then 1,000. Like, we're right there, guys. Let's do it.
1,000.
Anyway, guys, make sure to watch our new comic book day video that's going to come out on Tuesday. Still got to edit it, but I will get it done. And yeah, we'll see you guys live next Sunday where we'll talk about next week's books. Joe, what's something that surprised y'all about having a YouTube channel? I hear that YouTube can get creators can give creators a hard time. I haven't really had.
We ain't big enough to be given a hard time by nobody.
Right, but even then, like, I haven't really run into. I think the only thing for me that's been, I wouldn't say hard or disconcerting, just a lack of clarity, is when you lose or gain subscribers. They're not very. It's kind of hard to find that. It's just you got to dig for it. So there's that. But anyway, that's all I would say. I think we're pretty open to the idea of YouTube, so we're just gonna play. I'm glad we're here though, man. We started on Twitch, and I was like, man, Twitch is it. And I'm like, Twitch.
No, wasn't it?
Yep. So anyway, guys, we'll see you guys this Tuesday and obviously next Sunday where we talk about our pools. And there's some really good books next week, so be prepared to read a lot of books. Joe, I heard YouTube want people to do more shorts and not long live. Well, yeah, it's kind of, yeah. You got to be able to do all of it. I think you need to be able to make weekly consistent content, do lives, and also do shorts. And we're working on shorts. And I mean, it's evident. We made that one that had really nothing to do with comics, and it's got 27,000 views. So, like, we're going to do more shorts. And I think as we get closer to becoming more full-time, you'll see more short-form content from us. But we're never going to get away from live shows and weekly YouTube videos. That's going to be the mainstay of our channel. But shorts will start. Shorts are becoming more and more prevalent on the channel. You will start noticing that. But anyway, we'll see you guys next week. As always, fam, be kind to one another and read more comics. Later. Outro.
Slide
Later.
out freely.
Later, guys.